Welcome back to the Lead Gen Underground. Been taking a bit of a break over the winter, but happy to be back. We're going to reformat a lot of things now and bring you guys a lot more useful content where you can take this info, implement it in your business, and start to make more money. Gene, I'm happy to have you here, my man. I was telling a few people before you hopped on that it seems like you are doing pretty well with Facebook ads. And for everyone else, it's been a little bit of a mystery, to be honest. Give everyone just 30, 45 seconds about you and about what you do in your company and that kind of thing, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gene Blinkov.
I used to be in the software industry for
years until I founded my own marketing company. And quickly we saw an opportunity in the real estate space, probably more so a problem that just about everyone is having, and that's seller leads. And me just being a student of marketing being the sole reason why I quit IBM and went out on my own, just because I saw a natural talent in myself with this stuff. I was like, dude, seller leads is what everyone wants. And then we looked at the marketplace and like, motivated seller leads are the most difficult to get. So I was like, this is what I got to do. Like, if I truly consider that I have a talent for lead generation, I got to go for the most difficult thing. So I went for seller leads, and started to test stuff. I actually the first customers and the first kind of test rats that I had were Chris Rude's students, because I joined a coaching group of Chris Rude to basically get access to his base, to just start kind of developing and ironing out our stuff. And through just trial, iteration, good copywriting, advertising, just principles that have been in place for hundreds of years, just being a student of the game, practicing, failing forward, we basically arrived at a set of ads and systems that convert on Facebook. And I've been coaching people a bunch. We obviously we make most of our money with private clients. Some clients like Matt here in Florida, we're on a profit share. Like some of the folks that we've worked with for a long time, it's more beneficial to bring us on as a partner. And I've coached a bunch of people. The problem with a lot of coaching is that only a certain percentage of people take action. So I just want to, before we share anything in this call and this meeting, any information that you see, I just want to remind you that once you know a piece of information and you're not implementing it, you're basically committing the eighth deadly sin. Is knowing something and not implementing it in your business. So happy to, I'm happy to address any challenges that folks have with specifically to Facebook marketing, because we've made just about sorry, I cut out. Someone called me. We've made just about every mistake you could make. So if you don't, if you're stuck on something, absolutely happy to help. There's always a way to figure out. You can do Facebook ads for seller leads locally. You can do it nationally. It works in just about every market, but it's so easy to mess it up. There's so many variables you can mess up. So let's attack some of these.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for that info, man. That's really good. I love when I hear people talk about like the principles of things, right? And I think a lot of times the newer people in particular will get caught up in extreme shiny object syndrome. Like, what's working today? What is the thing? And they'll just completely like lose their senses and run away from the things that work in favor of trying to get a deal today, right? And that's a huge mistake. So I like that you're talking about the principles that work and sticking to those. Now, in terms of Facebook, are you only paid traffic, or is there anything organic that you do to support paid traffic, or what's like kind of the top level strategy here?
Yes, zero organic. We've never done it. The only leads that I ever generate organically are leads for us, right? So potential customers for us. That I've found with it are groups that are targeted, groups that are based on a specific interest. For example, wholesaling groups that are all discussing the same thing in that one specific group. And usually my strategy there is come up with something really helpful, promise it for free, make a provocative post about it with very kind of provocative copy, and just get people to comment. People comment the shit out of it. It goes viral in everyone's feed, whoever is a part of that group. That strategy has worked for me. I've created hundreds and thousands of leads for us, whether it's for coaching or for customers or for a, we're building a new plugin right now for to be able to give wholesalers a capability to give instant offers to people, just like Open Door or Zillow, but we're democratizing that concept. So now a regular wholesaler will be able to give an instant offer to their seller. So organic only leads for business to business, I would say.
Yep.
But this we do just paid ads. We do video ads and image ads. Video ads on average outperform image ads. Video ads are done with a very specific script. They're professionally filmed. We used to do the selfie videos. They died down over the years. They've underperformed the professionally filmed videos with better sound, with better picture, with better actors, and we run them to a funnel, right? So we run them to a web page. So we don't do lead forms. We do some lead forms, I should say, but our core strategy is video ad, very nicely designed funnel, not investor carrot. Although we've done campaigns for that and it works also, I should say. And some investor carrots are there's a design touch to them because somebody did some work on them. They're not out of box investor carrot, and they've actually been taken care of, if you will. Step one, a little bit of information. Step two, long form information. But I would say, yeah. So that's our basic funnel, and then we just over time we just monitored where is the funnel breaking down. Is it from the video? Is the video not being watched? Because you can track all that stuff inside of Facebook if you spend enough ad spend. Let's say you spend $1,000 on one ad set, one ad campaign. Maybe there's like 5 different creatives that you're testing, 5 different image or video types. You're gonna get some data about where your funnel is breaking down. Whether it's from the video to people are not clicking on the actual button, so your link clicks are very expensive. Whether it's people, your link clicks are good, but it's breaking down once people land on your site. Maybe your logo there is different than the one on your Facebook page, and people start questioning it. Maybe the design sucks. Maybe the form is way too low in the, people have to scroll too much. Maybe it's not mobile optimized, but you can see where the funnel is breaking down. And then you can kind of make decisions what you should optimize. That might sound boring to some people that think that like, oh no, you know what? There's this genius strategy I saw this guy do, and I'm just going to do that, and I'm not going to have to optimize. Like you said, Josh, all those gimmicky things, they do work if you move fast enough. But over time, if you want to be successful over time, there's certain principles, like Elon Musk principle thing. I think you've probably seen him speak on it. There's these principles that you just have to follow that are it's just wisdom, right? Wisdom is something that doesn't change across the times, across a year, this year or 100 years ago. There's certain things that stay the same, and once you figure those out and religiously follow them, you're a scientist of marketing, and from there, yes, you can, through some creative opportunities, if you put interesting people together on teams and they're able to come up with cool ideas, yes, you will get a higher margin, but you can never ignore the simple principles of optimizing the funnel, and that's how we've just inched away better and better and better cost per lead, even though Facebook has all these limitations that they're trying to impose.
Yeah, that's really good info right there. So if you guys didn't catch, there's a few gold nuggets in there. He said that video ads, particularly professionally shot video ads, are outperforming picture ads, right? So you'll see when you're scrolling on your feed, make sure you pay attention to what kind of ad you're seeing that say sponsored. See if it's a video ad or if it's a picture ad. Take note of the copy. I like to take screenshots of good ads that I see and put them in a folder, right? It's something I do. You talked about your funnel, right? And so, hey, let's talk about just really quickly, what is the funnel to you? What does yours look like? I would guess it's the video, and then you're trying to get them to click. You mentioned the one form for a little bit of information, and then a step two for longer information. So talk about that, a little bit about your funnel structure. What is a funnel to you? And then what kind of cost per lead are you seeing right now? Let's talk about those conversion economics.
Yeah, love the questions, man. Thank you. And somebody, I see somebody in the chat also asked about the conversion rate and conversion rate of local versus national. It was a very good question, very different actually. So yeah, to me, a funnel is just coming from the ClickFunnels world initially. A funnel to me is a set of web pages. Okay, I'm not, when I say funnel, I don't mean. I guess I use, it depends on when you ask me. So. Obviously the sale, the whole marketing funnel is, you know, the ad video, the ad, then the actual, the first page of the website, the second page of the website. That's the whole marketing funnel. But as far as the actual website goes, we're using it's built on ClickFunnels. It doesn't really look anything like ClickFunnels at this point, just because we basically had a professional designer I got lucky because one of my ads managers, his wife is a designer who does campaigns, like it's in a different country, but she does them for like political campaigns and stuff. Very talented designer, and she just really made it like, just before I would discount, I think before that happened, I discounted how important it is to have eloquent design that doesn't annoy the person, whether they landed on mobile or desktop.
Yeah.
And I also realized that I suck at identifying what's eloquent design and what's not. I'm good at like, oh hey, this is great design. I'm good at identifying when I see a good one, but when I see bad design, I can't really point my finger at what to fix.
Okay.
Right? Even though I consider myself a marketer to the core, this part of marketing, which is design, I'm completely just terrible at.
Sure.
So yeah, and so we use ClickFunnels, and the conversion, the cost per lead, very different on a local versus a national scale, and I think this is very worth mentioning. It's all about Facebook is so much about not going against the grain of the algorithm, and the more you can give the algorithm both money and data, the better the ads are going to do. So for example, we have some nationwide campaigns right now that are getting, right now, right to this week, they're getting about $25 per lead on Facebook. This is consistently, so this is about $100 leads a week, and they're consistently performing. It's not, you know, I'm not just picking out my best week and giving you that number, because we've done them at, sometimes they've came in at $12 per lead, at $15 per lead. Our retargeting one for national retargeting right now is still $12 per lead. Not as much volume there, right? You can't scale that one, but nationwide about $25 per lead, and local campaigns are about, I would say about, say average is about $50 per lead. Now I get it, we've been doing it for a while, but anywhere around that is pretty good. And the whole thing is just try to go a little wider, right? Especially if it's a rural population. And there's like almost a perfect balance between, you know, you could do a nationwide campaign, but not give it enough money, and your ad set has 5 million in its targeting, but you're only giving it like $30 per day. That's not enough money for the algorithm to be able to crunch a 5 million audience.
No.
However, just a slight increase, and you're doing, let's say, $150 per day or $200 per day on that 5 million audience, that will already produce results. We have ad sets that are spending $150 per day nationwide. It's a 5 million people audience, crushing it, because the algorithm is able to, you know, it's sufficiently able to test different chunks of that target. it's basically like if you take this, I'm going to use this ceiling, right? If you break it up into like 20 different squares, okay? When you first spend $100, let's say, on your ad set, Facebook will try each one of those squares for response. Basically, it's going to segregate the audience in ways that you can't segregate it inside of targeting, because partially because it's going to be Facebook is going to consider it racist or discriminate people on income and all that stuff. The reason why they introduced the housing limitations, but the algorithm can do it, and the Congress can't do anything about that, because the algorithm's a robot. It's not discriminating anybody. So it will put a little bit of impressions from each one of those categories, understand who is responding better, and then route most of your money into that chunk of your audience. So instead of targeting 5 million, you're actually targeting about maybe several 100,000 of people that Facebook thinks will respond to your ad. Not only do they test who will see it, they also read your copy, and based on your copy, they will try to understand who it is. They do this in ways that we don't even know because they don't disclose them. Yep. But our algorithm is always, this is one thing that I've just found out, always expect that the algorithm is smarter than you are. Every time I try to underestimate the algorithm, I get surprised. So it's, I mean, if you think about it, people that, let's say 5 leads became a lead on our ad, and those leads are known to go to this website, this website, this website. Every big website in the United States has Facebook Pixel. So Facebook knows everything about every user, and it can correlate it back to your ad. So as long as you don't constrain your ad set by too few people, you don't make like a 20,000 targeting ad set, you don't try to laser target that in, as long as it's at least 100 or 200,000 people in your ad set if you're local, and at least about 1 million if you're national, then the algorithm will have sufficient data to go and do the work for you. And as long as your creative doesn't suck, I was just telling Matt, like, there's a certain threshold where Facebook thinks that your creative sucks and you won't ever scale that ad. But that threshold is not very high. As long as your ad is not annoying, it doesn't have a lot of text, it uses somewhat good design, or it's somewhat good video with decent sound quality, your ad will be scalable, as long as you don't constrain your ad set but to too small of an audience. And you don't even need that many interests. Some of our ad sets have 2 interests. I think we've actually we had a while that had 0 targets. It's not a national one, obviously that would be way too wide, but we have some rural areas. If you're in a rural area and you try to target, for example, Zillow interest, and the Zillow interest, once you've selected that, it gives you like 40,000 people. You're like, fuck, that's not going to be enough for the algorithm. Like, I heard that you have to have at least 100 or 200,000 people. Delete that shit. Just go with no targeting, and you'll probably get better results than constraining it by that one little thing. The algorithm is it was so much fun figuring that thing out. Obviously, I think back to it like that it's fun now. It was like a lot of pain, just a lot of wasted ad spend. But the algorithm is a super powerful thing, and it's I mean, shit, Facebook. One day they'll probably think Facebook is too invasive. Until then, this is the absolute renaissance of advertising.
Got it, man. Well, that's a lot of good info you just packed in. So you gave us the numbers for audiences on a local versus national basis, and that seems pretty good. Jesus just asked a really good question. Do you consider all forms or calls a lead? And then what's a conversion from leads to contract?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So we basically consider all submissions a lead, because we do a pretty good job in the ad copy, in the ad video, and inside the funnel, and even right above the button that they click to submit their initial info. We write that, hey, if your house is listed with a realtor or you're not in a hurry to sell it, we're not going to give you an offer. in our ad video, we basically say like, hey, if you're flexible on timing, you've probably seen our script in ads online before. It basically is like, hey, if you're a homeowner and you're looking to sell your house and you're just fine with the process taking 3 to 6 to 9 months, and you're in no rush to sell your home, go ahead and keep scrolling because this ad is not for you.
Yeah.
And so we try to really talk them out of it if they're not motivated, because once again, that affects the algorithm, and the algorithm will think that tire kickers are good leads and give us more tire kickers. So we try to detract them. The question about lead to contract is I would never trust anybody's answer who gives you an answer to that question, because I've been doing this for a long time. This is such a varying number. You cannot put a look. So for example, these guys here, right? Fresh case study that's in my mind. They had 1,200 leads last year in 2020. 1,200 leads. That was it cost them about $100,000 to get them. Out of those 1,200 leads, they closed 31 transactions, and that was about $900,000 in assignment fees. So you figure, 31 divided by 1,300. However, right now we had a conversation. They're absolutely, completely dissatisfied with that number. These guys have already taken measures to like do this, because they're super dissatisfied with that number. Now, their numbers are pretty good in the wholesaling industry. It all depends on how good of a closer you are, like how much passion you go in to solve the person's problem once they call you, how quick you get back to them. Very, very much a varying number. Some people will do 10 leads a contract. Some people will do 50 leads and not get a contract. We've had that happen. We have plenty of customers leave us after like the first month. That's why we actually made people sign up for like 3 months in the beginning, just so they think about it better before they pull the trigger. Plenty of people have left and they're like, hey, I got 50 leads, I haven't closed a single one. That it all depends on the closer. But another important statistic, so out of those 1,200 leads that these guys did, they actually ran the numbers. 480 of those leads still sold their house within 2 months to somebody else, right? Within 2 months, they weren't tire kickers. Within 2 months, they sold. And that's why these guys are like, and they're very good with their numbers here. But that's why they're like, dude, we only closed 30. We should have been closing like a lot more, because 480 of them sold within 2 months. So we completely screwed up 450 leads. And so you can always improve that stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my very long answer to a short question.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, as well as I do that a lead, there's going to be a certain percentage of leads that come in that are going to be tire kickers no matter what. My estimate is somewhere in the range of 30%. Even if they say the right things, there's 3 out of 10 people that are just going to bullshit you, and then they're going to disappear as ghosts and never to be seen again, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
those are always in there. But among those leads as well, there probably 8 out of 10 true leads for wanting to sell your house, at least in my area, in my experience. 8 out of 10 probably are closer to retail or something in between. There's really only 1 in 10 or 2 in 10 that are clear-cut wholesale discount deals, right?
Very true. Very true. But yeah, I'm of the same opinion. Absolutely.
If you're able to have exit strategies, owner finance, you're able to take down properties, right, yourself. You're able to do things like novation agreements, or even you have realtors on your team, you're going to be able to take down more of those deals, right? Rather than just wholesale.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, these guys have a very good wholesale plus retail operation here. They don't have creative ones. So I actually just hooked them up with this guy, Jeff Rappaport. He's a customer and he does creative deals and they don't do any. So I'm like, dude, so now they're going to be sending their leads to him to triage them for a couple of days after they triage them for wholesale and before they triage them for retail. He's going to triage them for terms, and I think that's going to be a cool setup.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the more ways you can the more ways you can help a customer, because it gets back, the more tools you have to help a customer, the less customer interactions you'll waste, and you'll make more customer interactions profitable, because that's what you're paying for, is for a customer to talk to you.
Absolutely. We're coming up on the back end of the show here, just like 5 minutes left. So let's move through a few questions really quick. But I'm curious to see where you think, one thing that I'm thinking about a lot this year is where consumers are going in the next 10 years, not just in real estate, but everywhere, right? But in real estate, what are consumers in 10 years going to want? What are sellers going to want? What's the landscape going to look like? Talk to me a little bit shorter timeline than that. Like, what do you think is going to happen in 21, 22 about lead generation, particularly on Facebook, but other channels as well? What do you think is going to start to improve? What do you think is going to go down? And how are you planning to adjust?
Very, very good. Very, very good and very difficult question. So I'll go with the easier one first. What I think what's going to happen in lead gen is that because we have iBuyers like Open Door and Zillow, they are able to spend massive amounts of money on lead gen, and their lead gen experience is pretty good. So, and also one key thing that I've seen that they do is that they're able to give an instant offer. They're able to give a number. And I've read a lot of their reviews. I took time and read a lot of the reviews, and a lot of the reviews say that their final offer was nothing like the instant offer they got. Nope. And so that's why I was like, you know what? I have software people on my team now, because I spend part of my time in East Europe. So I'm like, we're going to build a plugin. We're actually already coding it, where when a lead enters in their information into your carrot, it goes and queries our thingy, and it will give an instant value. It'll be the estimated. It'll be like a Zestimate, but you'll be able to configure it, whether you want to give them 0.8 or 8 cents on the dollar, or 80 cents on the dollar, whether you want to subtract 10 grand, or if you want to give them the full retail as that instant offer, but you'll be able to give them that number without them having to wait, and then be able to promise in your ad to give an instant offer. And I think that's going to reduce our cost per lead, because people want that shiny instant thing. But and the other thing is that so if we're actually, I've got a survey for folks that want to become part of the test group for this plugin, because we're going to be rolling out a test version soon. So just hit me up for that. But the other thing I think in lead gen in general is, I think we're going through the worst times in history of customer service. You can't reach anybody. Everybody sucks on the phone. Just terrible customer service everywhere. Maybe folks that are about 10 years younger than me don't realize that what we have now is completely terrible. I can't even call Facebook. They don't have a number at all for support. Like, good thing we have that account manager person who we can reach, but smaller advertisers don't even have that. They can't call anybody at Facebook. They don't have a chat. They just have the support articles. It's nuts. So I think people are getting real tired of crappy customer service on the phone, and that's just back to the basics of that. Will put you ahead in a lot of people, because a happy customer will tell 10 people, or will tell will tell 3 people, and a pissed off customer will tell 10. Yep. So and that's something I heard from Dan Kennedy. So I think that's a big trend that's easy to stand out with great customer service. However little that might seem not very important or not very significant, but it's what people feel on the other side of the phone, and to them it's important as hell.
Sure, absolutely. That's great. 2 more questions. Quick answer from this one on Rick. He said Google has a minimum word count requirement of 600 to 750 words. It is flagging content as a thin page and will index it. If Google can't crawl and read the page, you'll not be able to be seen in search results. How is this affecting what you're doing for customers?
It's not, because we have good copy. Steal someone else's good copy and rewrite it a little bit, or pay someone for good copy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. And then the last question that I got for you today before we go is, I know most of the guys in the group right here. I know most everybody. I'm pretty aware of what marketing channels they're using. Most everyone here in the group is using between 2 and 5 different marketing channels, right? So I would say like SMS, cold calling, some PPC, texting for sure, direct mail, right? A lot of people have not been able to crack the code with Facebook. PPC is light work. Set it and forget it for a little bit. There's no, I think Russell Brunson called it the Zuckerberg slap, where at any moment when he wants to change the algorithm, everybody's going to be thrown off and you get slapped, right? So Facebook has not been very friendly as a general consensus among most of the investors I know. For 2021, I know a bunch of guys here on the call are considering or trying to increase their Facebook budget. What kind of budget allocation would you give? Say we got 10 grand a month to spend. What kind of budget allocation should we give? And is there any particular combination of channels that may work well, or is there any indicator of what market you're in, whether Facebook will work for you there?
Got it. As far as what market, as long as you're not in the boondocks, Facebook will do just fine. As long as you're in a city that's at least 200,000 population and you go out at least 25 miles from it, not any less. Allocation, if you have 10 grand and you're trying to spend it on digital, if you have the retail side set up so you can monetize retail listings, that means you have an agent that's a true closer, not just the first agent that you found, not your friend, a real closer who has done a lot of transactions, who doesn't even have time to talk to you, but starts drooling when you start talking about the leads that you can give them. Once you have that site set up.
Just when he's getting ready to give the nugget, it's gone. That's great. That's great advertising right
but
there.
for one easy low time payment of
$999
until the next show.
He's got his how I'm locked in though. Yeah, it's a cliffhanger.
I was going to be here next week, Josh.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Hey guys, so this never happened before where the episode has ended prematurely. But my guest, Gene, just texted me and said that his phone died. And so anyway, he answered my question to that last question that I had there, the cliffhanger. And he said, quick answer, 60% Facebook, 40% Google if you have your retail monetization set up also. Expect to manage this stuff weekly, if not daily, or find a low management fee partner to manage it for you. So there you go. There's the answer to the last question that I asked there for people who are using other channels. How much budget allocation should they spend on Facebook? And he says 60% on Facebook, 40% on Google for online channels if you have your retail monetization set up. So a very anticlimactic a way to end the Lead Gen Underground episode there. But nonetheless, I wanted to come back and answer it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and talk soon.